Okay, it says I'm live. Good morning. Hello, hello, and happy Sunday. I'm going to make sure that you guys can hear me okay before I start talking too much. All right, let's see here. Okay, it says that there's a couple of viewers, so I'm just going to wait for a comment to pop up. And whoever the first person is to let me know that you can hear me and see me okay. Thank you very much and bless you. Okay, I'm going to wait for a second. For those that are watching the replay, please hang in there with me for a minute while I just make sure everything's working. Good morning, Shirley. Shirley, can you? Okay, awesome. I see a yes, and I'm assuming that means I'm good to go. Good morning, Nadine. Good morning, everybody. Hello and happy Mother's Day to all of the mamas, the grandmas, the mother figures, the fur mamas, all of you. I want to wish you all a very happy Mother's Day. Thank you so much for the wishes. I'm happy to be here with all of you. So, to me, I always feel like Mother's Day is about doing the things you love with the people you love, and just really kind of taking time to reflect on what it means to be a mother and the impact it has on the lives of those you mother, as well as on the impact that it has on my own life. So I've been in this sort of state of reflection. It's been a very, very busy time for all of us, and many parenting moments in the last few weeks that really kind of make you stop and just reflect on what it means to be a mother. So, and as I mentioned, it's about doing the things you love with the people you love. And so I decided that I wanted to start my morning off with all of you crafting, and to just kind of enjoy some chit chat. And hopefully this is relaxing and entertaining for you. So thank you so much for joining me. And again, for those that are watching the replay, thank you for being here. My name is Zara Premji, for those that are meeting me for the first time, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Markham, Ontario, Canada. And I have been a demonstrator for, it was 9 years in March. And I got into paper crafting and card making kind of accidentally. It wasn't something that I was really looking for in my life, but I was invited to a card making workshop. And I really just went because I needed the night out. And it was a busy life. I had 2 young boys at the time. I was working full time and really finding nothing in my life that was just for me, something that was just would allow me to have an outlet and just to relax and enjoy. So I went to this card making workshop. I had always kind of admired the pretty things on Pinterest and things out there, but I never really kind of saw myself as one that could make them. And so when I learned how to make these handmade cards, I couldn't get over A, how pretty it was, B, how easy it was, and C, the joy that I had in giving someone a card that I had made myself. So anyways, long story short, I decided that I needed to order some stuff. I decided to buy the starter kit because it was the best deal and I needed to make sure that I had a discount on the stuff. And then I started doing card making classes and workshops. And that's kind of what's brought me to my Facebook Live. So every Sunday morning, I do a coffee and a card Facebook Live. And I love to hang out and chat with all of you. And so thank you for being here. If at any time you have any questions, if you're new to card making or you've never tried it before and you're like, what is this and how do I do this? Please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. I'm always excited to get people started on their card making journey. I see all the comments coming through. Good morning, Nicole, Sandy, Janice, Judy, Linda, Shirley, Nadine. Thank you so much for being here and happy Mother's Day to you all. Good morning, Beth. Happy Mother's Day. Yes. And everyone's saying happy Mother's Day to each other too, which is nice. It's like this little community that we're forming here on Facebook and YouTube, I should say. I apologize. So let me tell you what we're doing today. I am actually going to be able to finally show you the inside of this catalog. Many of you that are familiar with Stampin' Up! And are avid card makers have seen the insides of this catalog. But up until May 3rd, I wasn't able to show the inside. So I'm actually going to be showing you the inside, and we're going to be playing with a bundle. And bundle is basically a stamp set with a coordinating punch or set of dies. And we're going to be playing with the one called Bottled Happiness. So I'm actually going to flip the view. Actually, I'll do that right now. There we go. So there you can see, hopefully on the screen, you can see that we have this amazing bundle here. And so for those that are new, we have stamps and we have coordinating punches. And I love bundles that have a coordinating punch because it makes it super easy and quick to make a really awesome card. Now, the card that I'm going to show you today is going to have a few extra steps. I'm going to show you how to make a shaker card. And it's actually the one that you can see at the top of the page here. So one of the things that you might not know about me is that we are currently having our home renovated, and our basement was just renovated a couple of months ago, but we've had to move out because we're getting our whole main floor and upstairs renovated. What that means is that I don't always have access to my craft room because we're living with my parents. And so I don't get a ton of time to be sitting here crafting and designing as much as I'd like. I'm hoping that's going to change soon. We're moving along quite well. But today I thought I wanted to still craft with you guys, but I didn't have a ton of time to create something new. And I'm in love with this card, so I'm going to make it anyway. So hopefully it'll give you a bit of to actually see it coming to life in reality. Hopefully it'll give you some tips and ideas and some inspiration. And of course, you can always change the layout and make it to what works for you. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Barb, and happy Mother's Day to everybody. Now, before I go on to that, I wanted to show you a card that my daughter made me for Mother's Day. So I always love to see what the little kids make at school and what they bring home. Hang on. I feel like we're a little crooked here. Okay. I can use the wood grain on my surface to let me know whether I'm straight or crooked. So this morning, my daughter gave me this cute little card that she made. And for those of you, again, that have seen the inside of the catalog, I'm sure this is going to remind you of one of our new bundles called the Cup of Tea. It's actually one of our new sweets. And I loved that this was in the shape of a little teapot. And then inside there was a little cup that she had cut out, which looked a lot like, I can't seem to find it. I think it got lost in my bag. But there was a little cup that looks a lot like the cup that the die cuts out with that bundle I was talking about. And it says, "Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you more than my life." Aw, so cute. Your true love, Amelia. And then she put a cute little a little organza bag with a tea bag and then a cute little spoon. And it's just adorable. I thought it was so sweet with a little paper flower on it. So I share this with you because A, it's so cute. And I just thought you guys might get a kick out of it. And B, because I just think that giving handmade cards to somebody or anything that's handmade is just so meaningful. And it just, I don't know, it just lit my heart up. It was just so heartwarming to see that she had made it with her own hands, written her own handwritten message. So I know we tend to send a lot of text messages and Facebook messages and things like that, but it's so, so nice to create something for somebody else. So, okay, so Beth is looking for some inspiration for making for something with this card. So I will say that the catalog is full of inspiration. So Beth, if you're like struggling with where to start, go with something in the catalog. That's exactly what I did, and I'll show you it today, and hopefully it'll inspire you more. Yeah, okay, so shall we? And then the other thing I wanted to share with you was a book recommendation. So my husband and I just celebrated our 20th anniversary on April 28th, and we went away to Jamaica for a few days. That's where we had gone for our honeymoon, and then we decided that we really needed a trip. It's been a really, really I don't want to say a hard year, but it's just been an intense year for us, kind of one that we'll never ever forget. And so we just decided we needed to get away. So we went to Jamaica, stayed at this beautiful resort called Excellence Oyster Bay. If you're looking for an adults only spot to go, I would highly recommend it. The food, the weather, the grounds, the service, everything was like spectacular, top notch. It was amazing. Anyways, it was the first time in years that I actually had a chance to read a book. So this one's been around for a while, but if you're looking for a book recommendation or are going to treat yourself to a Mother's Day gift today, I would highly recommend The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It has nothing to do with crafting, I know, but for those of you that like to read and just haven't maybe found time or are looking for a good book recommendation, that's one. Okay, let's get started with the crafting because I am clearly in a chatty mood. I've been talking for 10 minutes. I'll show you the card that we're going to be making today. It's this one here. I'm going to bring it up a little closer so you can see. And I told you I was going to show you how to make a shaker card. And it's easier than it looks for those that are looking at this and thinking, I could never, ever make that. I'm going to show you the steps to making this. And then I want to see you guys go and create something and then share it with me. Okay. I want like, whether it's today or this week, carve out some time. It's kind of like it's your assignment. It's your homework. Take out some time to be able to craft. So I'm going to actually be showing you how to use the Stamparatus. This is a really helpful tool to have when you're creating with this stamp set. And I'll show you what the stamp set looks like. It's called Bottled Happiness, and it's got some different images. So this is actually a two-step stamp. So one of them you would do, it's kind of like your greenery and foliage, and then the other one would be your flowers. And so you can do a variety of different things. You can also just use this stamp individually and create like a fun background. And then I really love the font. It just kind of takes me back to when we learned cursive writing when we were like in grade school. And so I love the font. And then there's also some puns. So why not? If you're a wine lover or you have friends that are wine lovers, this is a great stamp set. And then the other one that I really like is sending a little message. And there's a sample on the catalog that shows a tiny little piece of paper rolled up. And then there's a little piece of twine tied around it, and they've stuck it into the shaker dome. So it looks like it's a message in a bottle. So, Sue Black is saying, Sue Black read Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and did not see the ending coming. I kind of had a feeling that it was going to be some sort of, I had a feeling, like a very slight feeling, but did not ruin the ending for me at all. Okay, here is the coordinating punch. So some of the images here you can punch out, or you can create an opening, which will give you that shaker dome. And then this one here, I just looked at it and just realized that I would probably, I'm going to use this on my card. I didn't use it on my original. Now, a couple of other things that are shown on this page that I would highly recommend if you're ordering this bundle are the vintage bottle shaker domes. They come in a package of 10, and my goodness, is the font really small on there. So they come in a package of 10. I'm going to be using one on the card today, and it is basically like a plastic dome, and you can create a shaker card with it. So you can put all sorts of fun little things in there. So we're going to use one of those. And these are also shown on that page, and they're part of our embellishment section. And then lastly, the effervescent elements. Now, here's a tip with these. Leave them closed on your desk when you're not using them. Ask me how I know. And they're not adhesive. There are approximately 2,300 pieces, and they're just these beautiful effervescent little balls that I'm going to add in my shaker. And you might want to have a little spoon. In fact, maybe the little one Amelia gave me with my tea bag would be perfect for this. So I'm always looking at ways to repurpose things. So we're going to use this little spoon to scoop it out. Okay, so let's get started. I'm sorry I'm super chatty today. I haven't seen you guys for a while, so it's just one of those moods I'm in. So tell me in the comments, what are you doing for Mother's Day? Oh, Shirley, it's called Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It's a great, great book. Okay, I had to just wipe off my fingerprints from this window sheet. So let's get started. And do tell me in the comments what you have planned for Mother's Day. And I'm going to chat and tell you what I have planned. Today is actually my mother's 70th birthday. I don't know if she'll kill me for sharing that here. Many of you probably don't know my mom. But for those of you that do, you can send her a message or give her a card. Make a card and send it to her to say happy birthday. She's turning 70 today, although the woman doesn't look a day over 50. She looks so good. She's in way better shape than I am. And so she's celebrating her 70th. And I always remember growing up, and whenever her birthday fell on Mother's Day, I think she kind of felt shafted because she was like, well, these two occasions are kind of grouped together. So that's what happens on her 70th birthday, of course, that the two occasions are grouped together. But we're going to celebrate in a big way. She didn't want a big party or anything because the COVID numbers and stuff are still high, and my grandmother is older and vulnerable. So we figured we would kind of maybe do things once things settle down. But my sisters and all the spouses and the kids and I were all taking her out for dinner tonight. And so we're going to celebrate that way. Okay, let me tell you what I'm doing here. I took a piece of crumb cake cardstock and I embossed it using the Timber 3D embossing folder. Oh, Carmen, your mom also turned 70. Congratulations to her. Good morning, Deborah. Happy Mother's Day. So Deborah's going to brunch with her cousin. What are other people doing? Oh, Judy's granddaughter's turning 15 today, so another milestone birthday. Here we have I put an embossed piece of cardstock. This is in the catalog. It looks like it might have been something similar to this, maybe inked up. I just left mine plain, and now I'm going to punch out the bottle. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of aim to go center, not too high up because I want space to stamp the flowers. I went a little low there, but yeah, a little lower than I had hoped. Now don't get rid of this because we can actually use the back of this. And remember I said there was a little stamp that I wanted to use that I didn't realize was there at first. But I'm going to actually grab this and my pool party ink. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So I won't be sticking this part on just yet. So I'm just going to take my pool party ink and this stamp. I didn't even realize what it was for. Clearly, I did not look at the stamp set properly. And I'm just going to create a background here so that when I put my effervescent elements, it just kind of has a little bit of that pool party color behind it. But we'll stick that on later. So we've done our punching. And now let's work with our shaker. So we've got the little shaker dome here. Janice is spending the day in her craft room, and then your son is going to barbecue for supper. That's lovely. And I hope that you have good weather for barbecuing. It's getting nicer here too. But I'm going to just tell you really quickly. So there is a backing that you peel off that will reveal the adhesive. So I'm going to start with the one on the top. So the part, the same side as the raised part of the dome. And I'm just going to stick this down. Okay, as I create that opening there. Okay, then you flip it over. Actually, I should not have done that. I should have stamped it first. Okay, let's see if we can make this work. So there's like tip number 1, stamp it before you put in your shaker dome. Silly me. Okay, let's do this. I have a feeling this is not going to work. Oh goodness. Okay, let's see. I don't know, either that or I'm going to crush the dome. Let's see. Will it work? No. Darn. Okay, let's see here. Let's see if I can undo some of this damage. Otherwise, we're starting from scratch. Okay, we're going to just do this and then we're going to glue it back on. Don't try this at home, friends. Okay, there we go. Looks a little messy, but it's okay. We'll make it work, even if we have to use up another dome. Okay, so now I'm going to take my stamp. So I'm using the Stamparatus, which is our stamp positioning tool. And this is really good at just helping you figure out where to stamp your images. Okay, so I've just laid it out where I want it to go on my piece of cardstock here, and the magnets just help to keep it in place. And then we're going to ink it up. I'm going to use my Pear Pizzazz cardstock. Oh, heat tool. I wish I had read this before I did that. That would have been smart. I made a little bit of a mess of that dome. Okay, so I'm going to start with my Pear Pizzazz ink. And I'm just going to stamp that. Just put a little bit of pressure. So it's an acrylic plate, but it's got a little bit of give to it. So you can kind of give it a little pressure. And that's just going to help with making sure that it's evenly stamped. Then I'm going to take this stamp. This is the second stamp, which has all the florals. Now in the sample in the catalog, you can actually do this in multiple colors. You can do it with sponge daubers or that kind of thing. But I just decided I'm going to keep it all the same color. Now, when it comes to matching it up, there are these little flower centers that you want to line up. I'm just going to move this closer to me. You want to line up with the green flower centers that are already stamped. So it's a really good guide. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to hold it up a little closer, but I've just lined up that stamp over where the green centers are of the first stamped image. Oops. And then use a different plate. Don't use the same plate. Okay. And then just put your stamp set or something of the same width underneath it. And then we're going to stamp the flowers. And I'm going to use So Saffron. Good morning, Shirley. And happy Mother's Day to you too. So I'm just using my So Saffron ink, and I'm going to just stamp that over top of the original stamp. So you could use a block for this, but I certainly find the Stamparatus way easier, because when stuff like this happens and then the image doesn't get stamped properly, you can go over it again and you know kind of where to add pressure, and you know that it's going to be precise. Okay, so my stamp is looking really good. And then just take off your plates. You can use the Simply Chamois to, clean that off, and I'll do that a little later. And now let's see if we can reuse this. I'm going to use some liquid glue and just add some adhesive here. I think this should work, because there was a little bit of cardstock that came off when I went to take it off. Okay. We're going to fix this little boo-boo. It's just paper. So I've heard from people that say, oh, you even when you make boo-boos, because that's not the first time I've done that. Even when you make boo-boos, you still seem kind of calm and you just carry on. Well, what else are we going to do, right? It's just paper, nothing to worry too much about. And worst case scenario, you just get another piece and start again. Okay, so now I'm going to just press that down. I think it's going to stay, and we're going to grab our effervescence elements, and we are going to scoop some. You know, I have to tell you, when it came in the shipment, I opened the box, and like, I don't know if the container had opened, but this bag that it came in was filled with like half the container of these elements. So you just, and that they will go everywhere. I could hear them kind of moving around on my table and rolling onto the floor. So you want to keep that closed. So I've just scooped a little bit into this shaker piece. Now, you want to protect those pieces. I'm not going to keep it clear. Like I'm going to put something behind it, but I want to make sure that it kind of keeps everything securely in here. So my tip for that, and what something many of you might already do, is to just take a piece of window sheet. You can also, when you get a stamp set from Stampin' Up that's photopolymer, they have this similar material, the acrylic sheet here. And what I actually do is I end up moving my stamps onto the back of the case. And so then I'm left over with this piece of window sheet material, plastic acetate, I guess it is. And so you can cut that up and use that for your shaker cards as well. So then I'm just going to line this up with the bottom here. You just want to cover the opening so that it doesn't spill out. Okay, so then we've got our little shaker here. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this piece. So remember, we stamped it. And I'm just going to put it behind. Now this one, I would say just put a piece of tape behind it, because no one's going to see it anyway. So I'm just going to take a piece of tape to just stick down that bottle piece that we had cut out. Is this making sense? I hope this makes sense. Okay. There we go. So my husband this morning went to go get flowers for my mother and my mother-in-law. And I told him, I don't want flowers. First of all, we're not living at home, so I have nowhere to display them. And I said, I don't want flowers. I would rather you spend the money on coffee. So he bought me a delicious Starbucks brown sugar oat latte, hot. It was amazing. It's amazing. I'm still working on it. And then for Mother's Day, my kids and my husband gave me a French press. So have any of you guys drank French press coffee? Happy Mother's Day, Heather and Brenda. Thanks for joining. Have any of you drank French press coffee? Because when we were in Jamaica, we would go to this restaurant for breakfast, and every morning they would bring us our own French press. And the coffee was the best I had ever had. It was so good. And I loved it so much. And I said to my husband, like, I'm going to miss this when we go back home because we have a Keurig. So we just use the K cups. And anyway, so they bought me a French press, and then they bought me a mug that says World's Best Mother, and a bag of ground coffee from Starbucks. So they like really know me clearly. I didn't want anything fancy. Don't get me flowers. Don't get me chocolates. Just get me coffee. That's what I love. Okay, Linda, I've never used it before, but I am excited to try it. I think I will be drinking lots of coffee today just so that I can use my new French press. Let me talk a little bit about the paper. So the designer series paper I'm using is from the Tea Boutique suite. And I always love being able to show how designer series paper, even though it might be part of a suite, can be used for so many different types of cards. So we do have these papers that have the teacups on them. And if you're signed up for Stamp Camp, you may or may not be having fun with this tea paper. I'm just saying. So we've got ones with little teacups, and then we've got these cute little flowers and these teapots. And then I love this pattern here with the little envelopes on it. And then on the back side, we have these very generic, versatile patterns. I hate using the word generic. It makes it sound so ordinary. It's not ordinary. It's beautiful. But we've got all of these lovely patterns that you can then use for any kinds of cards. So on my original card, I used the dotted pattern, and on this one, I'm going to use this kind of diagonal gingham pattern. So I'm going to use my seal, Stampin' Seal. I'm just going to put a few lines, making sure to get the edges, and I'm going to cover the entire card base, which is pink. Okay, petal pink. And I love doing this with designer series paper where you make it the backdrop of the card. Beth's friend takes her press everywhere. Oh, lives by her press and takes it everywhere. I kind of feel like that might be me soon. In our kitchen, I did tell our designer that I need to have a beverage bar, and mostly by that I mean coffee bar. So I need a separate area for my mugs and my coffee. And now my new French press is going to go there. I'm a little excited about it. I'm not going to lie. Okay, so now we're almost done, guys. If I wasn't so chatty today, we would have probably been done a long time ago, but hopefully you guys are enjoying this and enjoying hanging out. Hopefully you're drinking your favorite drink. Maybe it's coffee or tea or water or a mimosa. I feel like Mother's Day should be all about mimosas. So I'm just going to stick this down onto here. Okay. This one is, the lip here is going to pop up a little bit just because we've got the shaker dome there, but it's fine. Everything's fine. It's still going to be beautiful. And okay. Now you can see how that shaker card is looking, and you can see where we stamped the pool party ink. Just kind of creates a little bit of that color in the background to make those effervescent little bubbles pop. Okay, so now we're going to stamp our greeting, and I'm using the one that says Sending Cheer. It's really cute, and the font is lovely. And I'm just going to, now, just a little tip here. I love this stamp set. I love the fonts, but I want to also kind of bring to your attention that if you wanted to just use the punch, you could easily create a similar card with just the punch and use a different set of sentiments and even a different set of florals for the top. So if you don't have the stamp set, or you choose not to get it, you can still make a similar card. So I stamped the Sending Cheer, and I'm just going to stick that right on top. Let's remove that little dimensional backing. Okay, so that's that. And then let's do some linen thread. Janice, I love when you say that. This set didn't speak to me when I saw it on the pre-order, but shocker, now it needs to go on my wish list. I'm sorry, not sorry. It's lovely. Okay, I'm going to do a double bow. On my original, I did a single, but I wanted it to be a little bit more. I want it to pop a little more. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, jelly beans? That's what I always say to my daughter. You know what I mean, jelly bean? She's like, I'm not a jelly bean. Okay. Oh, I forgot to tell you, yesterday was my daughter's dance recital. So I don't know if any of you were dance moms or are dance moms. I have always been a hockey mom. So because I have the two boys, they're 13 and 16, we've always kind of done the hockey thing. And now my middle son is doing basketball. So it's kind of always been about sports. So we tried her out in soccer, we put her in skating, and then she decided she wanted to do dance. So she kind of started a bit late, like when she was maybe 6.5 or 7. And yesterday she did a dance recital. Holy, was it amazing? Like there were 44 items in the rehearsal. I mean, sorry, in the recital, 44 different dance items, and they were spectacular. So they had a mix of like recreational and competitive dances. I was in tears in a couple of them. Like they had a group of like older girls, maybe they were teenagers, and they did more of like a contemporary style, and they did it to the song Hallelujah. And I thought I was gonna ugly cry because it was just so moving. Um, I was just like, yeah, I couldn't believe it. But she had two performances, and we had to do all the hair and makeup, and her bun turned out pretty amazing. I was quite impressed. I might have to post a picture of it because this mama was feeling pretty proud of her bun making skills. It made me think about like when we were told that she had to have a bun, and that she had to have like a middle part and everything. I kind of was like, this is intimidating because it has to, like, I haven't really had to do that before. And so I was a little intimidated by it. And it kind of made me think about people who might watch card making and not know how to do it. And you look at that and you think, I don't know how to do that. That's intimidating. I could never do that. Well, let me tell you, with the help of YouTube and a few attempts, we made it work. And her bun was really good. I was really quite impressed. The trick is to do it while it's wet. So we washed her hair in the morning and did it while it was wet. Um, and it stayed all day through two performances. We didn't take it out till 9:30 at night, and we had started it at 9:30 in the morning. So I'm really chatty today, guys. Sorry. Okay. Now, a couple of things. On my original card, I just want to show you. I had used the effervescent elements to put in the centers of the card, but I think I'm actually going to use pearls for this one because I was worried that if you go to put them in the mail, I was worried that the effervescent, like the little balls, won't stay because they're stuck down with liquid glue, but they are still moving a little bit. So I'm going to actually use pearls because I feel like these might have a better shot of staying. You could also leave them. You don't have to do anything if you don't want. You could even go with some Wink of Stella. But I'm just going to put these little pearls. Maybe overdoing it a little on the gems, but you know, you can never have too much bling. So I'm going to leave it like that. So that's the card, friends. It's all done. A few little hiccups along the way, but it is done, and I'll show you the two. So you can see the two different backgrounds. Maybe I'll hold it up a little closer. So this one here is with the dotted background. This is also part of the Tea Boutique Designer Series paper. And then we've got this one here that's using that gingham. And you see those beautiful effervescent elements shaking around in there. So hopefully you like that. So again, the bundle is on page 16 and 17, and you can always get a discount when you purchase it as a bundle. So if you would like to order this from my online store, let me show you my link. You can go to zarapremji.com, and I always do a free gift for any order over $50. You're going to get a free tutorial bundle from me as well as an embellishment. And so it is on page 16, and the bundle. So if you purchase the stamp set and the punch separately, so if you don't buy them at the same time, it's going to cost you a total of $58 with tax and shipping. If you buy them together, you're going to save 10%. So it's actually $52. And so it's a good deal, and you can see that the possibilities are going to be fantastic. I would definitely suggest adding on the shaker domes and the effervescent elements. And if you want to order that and some ink and cardstock, and your wish list is getting over, close to $100, then definitely get in touch because our starter kit deal is amazing for this month. You not only get to choose a huge bundle of product and pay only $135, but you also are going to get over $90 in ink and cardstock in our new in colors. It's a fabulous deal. I want to go back to my comments just in case I've missed anything. Oh, thank you. I'm looking at the comments. Linda's going to make this today. Yay. Linda, I can't wait to see what you make. And if you change up the colors or anything, please do share a picture with me. Would love to see it. Hello, hello, Janice. Barb says, very pretty. Must get that stamp set. Thank you, Lynette. Thank you, Brenda. Thanks, Debbie. Oh, thank you, Nicole. I appreciate all of you. Thank you, Shirley. I hope that you guys enjoy this. Now, listen, I hope you all have a fantastic day today, whether you observe Mother's Day or not. I just hope that it's a fabulous Sunday. The sun is shining. It's gorgeous. It's May. Hopefully that means spring is in the air for all of you. And I want to thank you so much for joining me today and hanging out with me. It's definitely one of the highlights of my morning. And I'm wishing you all happy Mother's Day. And I'll see you guys real soon. Bye for now.